Good evening, everybody, and welcome here to the GT3 Enduro Round 1 at Silverstone for the 2022 Winter Championship. And we're about to start qualifying, as it turns out. And it's going to be an interesting dynamic here this season, as we have three divisions. And let me take a look and see if I can't get onto a driver right now. So we have Danny Basin of Area 52 Sim Racing. He's in the Division 1, along with his other two teammates, Ed Kerstetter and David Funk, as we can see them out there on track first. They're going to be doing an outlap, and unfortunately, they're only going to be able to get 5 minutes. And this is what I was talking about with the divisions. We have three separate divisions. Following those divisions means that you're only really fighting for your own division's title. So the guys in the middle of the pack are fighting for, P1, 2, and 3 for their division, as well as the people in the back of the pack fighting for P1, 2, and 3. So there's going to be 6 champions here at the first Enduro round getting onto the podium. And while we can actually see that already, split by the indicators there on the overall. We have white next to their number, and that is going to be the. Let's see here. Actually, I think. Let me just return to garage real quick. Timetables. So we got the Pro, Am, and Silver. So we got the Pro League's going to be white. The Silver League is going to go out next, and that's Cornotis, Reggie King, Richard Splash, Spool, Wassam, Aldred, Quid, Morrison, Provolone, Cassian, Miller, and Masters. And then the Amateur, also split by 10. So Silver has 12, Am has 10, and then these guys are going to be fighting for their own championship. And I don't even see if we have the... it doesn't split the other ones. But we'll go back out onto track and take a look and see where they're at. 16 drivers are going to be in the Pro Series, so that's mighty impressive, as we have Danny Basin going out first on his flyer lap, and we'll go on board with this driver and try to see how he does. Now with 16 drivers in the Pro Series, 10 in the Amateur, and 12 in the Silver, we actually have a big grid right now. We have 38 drivers on the track. Not all out on the track. We have, 22 drivers that are sitting inside the pit lane, as they'll each get their own attempt to run a flyer lap of their own. So we have 11 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. If Danny Basin can get across the line before it strikes to 10, then he's going to be able... he has 26 seconds left to go. Actually, he has a minute and 20 seconds. He's going to be able to safely go for a second lap as long as he doesn't invalidate. And that is the key right now, as we have McKeezy, Aaron Free, Gonzalez, Riley Manier all invalidated their laps. And it is unlikely that they're going to be able to exercise another flying lap. If I'm not mistaken, I think they only get the one attempt, maybe two. Because at 10 minutes, if they cross the line at 10 minutes, they are to go directly into the pit lane and not impede traffic for the outlap of other drivers. But I might be a little off on that one. So Danny Basin topping the charts with a 158.5. And then there's Ed Kerstetter and David Funk all coming in at 159 for David Funk at P2, Ed Kerstetter at P3. Andrew Pickerel, what a impressive feat for his driver at Adidas Parlay. He has just crossed the line. He's dropped down the board a bit, but he was P4 for the time. Now he's P6. Joseph Kosovic takes P4 at a 2-minute flat scenario. That is mighty impressive. Ali Raza of Turner Motorsports just comes in across the line with a 159.3, which Ricardo Rivera right behind him with a 159.4, dropping the chart for Ed Kerstetter and Kostovich. We have Anirudh Sundar of the ETKK team. Missed us last season, but back here again this season. He's a fast driver, and he just dropped the charts at 159.9 with P5. Now, he's actually already improving, and so is that Kersetter on theirs. We can see that Riley Manier is going to be trying to attempt to get that fast flyer out of his only attempt left to go. As these drivers who have crossed the line, car number 47, Reggie King, is going to have to drop out. Oh, no, this is how it's working. So this is their last attempt at a flyer lap. We could already see a lot of the pro drivers dropping back into the pit lane. I think those that invalidated. So the drivers that are jumping out on track are actually on their flyer or on their out lap. But we can see there's a little bit of traffic. Are these drivers actually going to be able to pull anything off with that traffic? I don't think so. Let's go on board with one of these drivers. Car number 44. Is that 44? Reggie King. Oh, there it is. So I think these drivers in the silver are still able to push for their flyer lap. Because that leaves car number 33. Andrew Pickerel just went to the pit lane. So I think you're not allowed to actually set a time. Although, no, maybe you were. I think if you were given the space to run a second lap flyer, but you knew you were going to be in some traffic, so that goes Riley Manier. Being able to top out a P5, Ed Kerstetter dropped back into the P2 spot with Gage Gonzalez of Puerto Rico E-Racing Club, also getting there in at P3 with Ricardo Rivera, his teammate, right behind him. Then we had David Funk split the Area 52s from P1 and 2 to P8. So that's unfortunate for this driver, but there goes Will Campbell of 360 Motorsports at P10, Chris McKeesey at P11, Andrew Pickerel at P12, Takis Weeks at P13, and Mike Burkhoff at P14 with Red Eye Racing. Now the drivers out on track right now, we have Jarek Snyder. Car number 17 is Eric Miller. Eric Miller is one of the last drivers to go out on track. That's 188. There's a bit of confusion for me right now. Why is oh, now it's making sense. On the map track, you can clearly see we have 188 in car number 21, car number 59. They have all invalidated their laps. That's why they popped up as blue, light blue. Every other driver is still on a flyer or on an invalid or an out lap. As we have Jarek Snyder, one of the first drivers that's going to be crossing the line. He has a minute left to go, so he can take another go at this as well as all the other drivers that are on track. Now, at the 5-minute mark, those drivers that are on their out lap, or that are the amateur drivers, are going to be able to jump out onto the track. So they'll be cutting into some of these drivers' time just slightly, I believe. Definitely going to be the case for Eric Miller, who's only going to be able to have this one attempt to put in a good lap. And there goes Jarek Snyder. What? Jarek Snyder's white. I am a little confused, everybody. I think Jarek Snyder was out on track and just put in a pro time, which I believe he's not even supposed to be on track right now. And Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Um, Hey, Elf Cakes. So, thanks for joining us, man. Just trying to get myself on board with what's happening here on track here. It looks like Jarek Snyder is actually part of the Division Two, but it doesn't show that to be the case. We actually have 38 cars as the Division 3 are finally going out there, highlighted in the red with their number as the background. Division 2, which is the silver color on the overall next to their number. They are the second division that should be done. And I'm not even sure who I should be following because my brain is still trying to wrap the head around this entire concept that they've provided. Division 1, the white numbered individuals have posted in the first 5 minutes of quali their times. That was that's actually quite fascinating. We have Jonathan Quaid of Absolute Sim Racing, who has just put in a P11 time, and he's got dropped out into the pit lane. Chronotis also splitting some of these Division 1 silver guys. How do I use the broadcast app? I'm not sure I know what you're referring to. If so, look for the green data. That's the thing. There's no green data. Oh man. Here, we got A Delbeck from CC Racing with his teammate Matthew Haight. That's exactly how you say it. I did confirm with these drivers beforehand how they say their names. And I think they have another teammate of CC Racing. Oh, hey, and while we're at it, since we're looking at some of these drivers, what did that say? Do it for... I need to see what that says. Do it for Da? Oh, regarding the no-name driver that is on track in 30, do it for Dale. Oh, look at that. I have bad eyesight. Car number 19. This is Andy Oak of Royal Racing. His teammate is in a separate division of Spool, 3GP Spool, who's also sitting out there with him. We have Brandon Walrath of Rockefeller Racing, who is on his flyer. He's about 3/10 up on his Delta. Saleh Moni, how's it going? Oh, he has just... Oh, he kept it together. I thought that would have been an invalidation, but he's still on track limits. He's going to pull together a really impressive finish for the Division 3. Brandon Walrath is ahead of every driver in Division 2 with a 159.7. Wow, that is a fast driver. Oh, man. Soleimani is the fastest in the Lexus Fight Me. I mean, I don't fight anybody, but I'll believe you. I'll believe you on that one. We have 20 seconds left to go on quali, so they'll get a max time. So those drivers, car number 223 of Matthew Haight will also probably be able to go across the line to set another go at this. He's crossing the line now. He should be able to. I think we're going to be looking at Matthew Haight for the last driver that's going to be crossing the line. We'll go on a dash cam here. Let's go 5-2. Car number 5-2. Just Fetty. I mean, like, we all like when, you know, Lewis Hamilton wins again. But can you root for Lewis every time? I think that's what we're looking at here. Is sometimes you got to root for the Nikita Mazepins of the sport, just to keep it interesting. Is all the drivers in the Division 3 highlighted in red next to their in their number as the background. We have Romulus crossing the line. It's going to be probably setting a 202.3. Marks him down for P25 ahead of Reed Aldred, Eric Miller, and Constable Cody Wassam. Then we have, let's see. Nope, that went off. No, Orozco just finished with 207.7. We have two late entries of Aaron Free and Chris McKeesey, both Division 1 drivers. Paste in. Mazepin, do you need to cheer that guy? Yes, sometimes, I think. It could be very interesting cheering for that guy. All right. We'll go aboard and see a lot of white cars. Okay, they're not white. They kind of look like it. This is a big grid, everybody. Let's take a good slow look at that. We only have 3 minutes to go, so I'm just going to get close to the front and get going here. We have Area 52 of Danny Bazin and Ed Kerstetter on the front row, just locking that front row out. But just behind them is the Puerto Rican racing team of Gage Gonzalez and Ricardo Rivera sitting in the second line. Now, this kind of has me reminiscent of the GT4 series with Elard Mesa and Andreas Masachero sitting just behind the drivers of Area 52 again. We have Ali Raza and Riley Manier in their respective cars of the Turner and Parlay. Then we have Jarek Snyder and Joseph Kostovich in the 949 sim racing. Then there's David Funk in that Area 52 livery. Brandon Walrath, who Division 3 is sitting right there at the top of the leaderboards there. So that's interesting. Anirudh Sundar finally coming back to us after a season that he wasn't here for. There's Jay Quid in car number 21. And then we have another Will Campbell of the Anime Canadian team. I don't know. Somewhere on the lines of that. Then we have Andrew Pickerel and Professor Chronotis sitting right there. Andrew's in front. Well, that's Andrew Pickerel, actually. There we go. And then Richard Splash. Takis Weeks. Erica Cassian. Turner. Another Turner. I think it's Reggie King in that Turner. I'm not going to be able to get to the whole grid, everybody. Let's just take a look at some of these liveries and see what's happening here. Got NOS Energy Drink of Matt Morrison. Only know that by the little placard on his name. Got a nice little livery from car number 73 here. Nothing too fancy. And then another jet livery, that's for sure. Oh, and look at this. We have car number 555 and 333 sitting on the grid, taking out a line with themselves. That's an Adidas parlay of Eric Miller, Constable Cody Wasson of the NOS Energy Drink team. And we have the CC Racing of Matthew Haight and Delbecky. Oh, and then there's a team G Carnes. Do it for Dale. Bing bong. That's actually pretty funny. It's just like right on the back. Oh, that's pretty cool. Slow in, slow out, and hopefully not slow this race. So, got a couple more white cars in the back of the grid, and two drivers that are in the Division 1 Pro Series, and they are sitting at the back of the lineup. So, let's just see what ends up happening with them. If it's Aaron Free, Chris McKeesey, and even Jason Provolone of the Division 2. As we get underway with this very special enduro race at Silverstone. This is round 1. A lot of big points on the table today. No punk. Well, I don't even think it's in this league. There's some very interesting cars for sure that are going to be shown. For those that I missed, let's just go down the lineup here. Spool was car number 20. We're on an out lap right now before we start this. We have car number 555 of Romulus starting the pits. He was position number 25, so he just failed to start on that go. That's unfortunate for him. Matt Morrison of Two Stewards, One Richie, Mike Burkhoff, and P23. It's kind of interesting there. He's going to be piling through that pack real quick. Hopefully not pushing people out of the way. Reed Aldred, otherwise known as Shy Guy. Reed Aldred has been the commentator for the GT4 series here at Trackalicious Sim Racing. And on Thursdays, he's doing a great job. So please go talk to him when you do see him go live on Thursday for round 2. We have Eric Miller in P26, Constable Cody Wasson in P27, Delbecky in 28. We have Matthew Haight in 29, Carnes. So we got a full the CC Racing team sitting all together as a group. That could be very beneficial for this this team if they trying to look for some team orders to get through this pack and at least secure some good points for the team in the Division 3 championship. Please let me hear your raw emotion for that first hairpin crash. No worries there, Rav Rocket. I definitely will have that ready to go. As we have Dave Ward of Slow In, Slow Out Racing in that Ferrari. It looks really cool. Matt Dale of Slow In, Slow Out, also next to his teammate. Then there's Santiago Orozco of Tocos Locos. Doesn't have his teammate with him. And then that's Andy Oak, who is produced as No Name, car number 19. And then we have Aaron Free of No Team, also in a white car. Chris McKeesey of 360 Motorsports. And Jason Provolone in Turner Motorsports. We're about to go underway, people. We are going into the final few corners before we start this hour and 30-minute enduro. Now it's all coming down to the start of this race. I I just hope for a very clean and fair race with nobody creating any controversy. And that's a go, everybody. We have a green light, and by God, already we have Danny Bays in order to be overtaken by Ed Kerstetter down the first corner on Cops. There he goes. As Gage Gonzalez is also ahead of his teammate Ricardo Rivera. Still clean through all these cars so far. Going down through Maggots and Beckett's the only corner I know. Oh! A car already off! Car 50! What happened back there? And that is Matt Dale re-entering. Car number 55 also down the pecking order as some of those drivers, whoa, are not doing so well going too wide through that. That's car number 55 of Eric Ucassian. And he is coming back. And the shakeup is real, people. It's going to take a minute to see what happens. Joseph Kosovic already losing down multiple positions since he got into this race. Is he down? He's P7. I think he's exactly where he's supposed to be. It's hard to tell with the shakeup so quick. David Funk has actually lost a position. So has Joseph Kostovic. Get back into the swing of things. And there's Andrew Pickerel. He has got a lot of drivers behind him. He's got a little poke from Quinn, who he just overtook, taking P12. Let's go to not that one. Still clean so far as Andrew Pickerel's kind of splitting the gap here from P12 to P13 with the second off. But we still have a lot of drivers right behind him. Oh, they're going 3 wide through that corner. Hey, Grady 2385. How's it going, man? Coasty with that livery. Yes, Coasty has that livery. We're going to be going back on board. We got Joseph Kosovic, who was P6, still sitting at P7. It looks like Ali Raza is not going to let him have it. Oh. Ooh. Oh, no. Gage Gonzalez has exited Maggots and Beckett's in such a way that he has gone off track and dropped down the track to P11. That is unfortunate for that driver. We have Ed Kerstetter sitting at P2, having been overtaken by Danny Baysden. Then we have Joseph Kosovic in P5, Ollie Ross in P4, and Riley Manier in P3. Just behind them is a 1.5 second gap to P6 with David Funk of Area 52. So far, it's been pretty clean. Only a couple incidences that are noted between car number 24 and car number 99. And that is Chris McKeezy and Aaron Free, as well as car number 50 and car number 3. And Ricardo Rivera is already in the pit lane. Oh, no. That is unfortunate. You're not really sure what happened there, but as we're going to see, the Puerto Rico E-Racing Club definitely suffered heavily so far in this race start, having had 2 positions in 3 and 4, and now one's out in the pit lane and the other is P11. Not a good start for these drivers. And Joseph Kostovic, not hampered by a KTM anymore, is going to be pushing aggressively towards Ollie Raza. Ollie G is what it says, but we know it's Ollie Raza. We're going to go on board here. As we can see from this angle, not only is he on the attack, but he also is Ollie's attacking Riley Manier. So you have Kosovic with a good angle at both these battles happening. The difference in pace is literally a tenth off. And you can already clearly see a gap that has formed from P1 and 2 to P3 as Riley Minier now pulls off a 5-second difference to P2. That is unfortunate for any driver that thinks that they're going to be able to step over the toes of the 1-2 position, currently being locked out by Area 52 Sim Racing of Danny Basin and Ed Kerstetter, with Joseph Kostovich just shy of attacking Ali Raza here of Turner Motorsports. Goes a little wide as that's going to cut him down. Oh, he's going to lose a lot of time from that. Now on board with a Turner Sport Motors guy. Let's see what happens here. And car number 53 of Ricardo Rivera is actually jumping back out onto the track. Oh, as we have an incident with Matthew Haight, who is off the track right now. Now back on with nobody, actually. So it seems. We have Aaron Free in P23 just through cops. Goes a lot wide. And it's good to see that Ricardo Rivera still, while 2 laps down, is going to continue racing here. As we have several drivers of the Division 1 mixed into the pack of the not only the Division 2 but also Division 3, and pretty impressively we have car number 45 of Brandon Walrath, currently P1 for the Division 3, as Aaron Free goes and overtakes that driver as he tries to take it back from him. Not letting it happen. Car 73 of Buckley lets it go after trying to defend slightly. We have Eric Miller just shy behind him as well, and he's going to try to go for that overtake as well. Currently sitting in P23, where Aaron Free was. Ooh, here we go again. Joseph Kostovich finally has a run on Ali Raza. He's not going to be able to take it from the outside there. Just really trying to put all that momentum into this car right now. Where can I find a good setup for the Porsche 991 GT3R for Brands Hatch having a tough time with it? Well, Grady, if you join the Discord, there is a setups text channel where you can ask that question, and I'm sure someone would be able to help you along with that. David Funk having gained 2 positions since the opening lap, sitting here as, it's car number 917 of Dave Ward is off the track. All right. We're going to go on board for David Funk. Grady, if you just go towards the bottom, there should be the socials on Twitch with a button for the Discord. I don't think the Action Discord button in chat works. I don't think anyone set that up. But we do have an icon for it at the bottom of the main Tracklicious Sim Racing Twitch channel. And it looks like Snyder went a little loose there, maybe. No, he's going to continue to push that nice little spot on the back end bumper that says, "Don't kill me." And I don't think that's David Funk's intention. And car number 45 is off the track right there. Car number 45 is B. Oh no. Yikes. It's Brandon Walrath, who was running P1 in the Division 3 split, has went into the pit lane after an incident that occurred. Might have occurred, or he just went out off the track in general. We have Stefan Buckley of Turtle Track Sim Sport sitting in P1 for the Division 3 championship right here. While we're at it, let's just go on board with another Division 2 pole sitter right now is Jonathan Quinn of Absolute Sim Racing, car number 21. He has Chronotis about 2 seconds behind him. So P1 and 2 is still in contention here, and let's just take a look and see how far back that really is. It's not a lot of time, and we have Gage Gonzalez, who is P11, still sitting at P11. I mean, the driver finished quali in the top 4, and he's having some trouble trying to get past some traffic. And then we have Ollie Raza sitting P4 for the Division 1 championship. Almost P5, it looks like. As Joseph Kosovic gets pretty close. Close enough to look like he was going to have that title all to himself. And you can see that there's ever so slight difference in how they actually attack these corners at Maggots and Beckett's. This car number 39 of David Funk is off the track right now. Now back on. It's a rough entry. No incident occurred for him, so he must have just slipped up. His car number 188 is having some issues here. Let's see. And there goes Jason Provlone from P23. Might be overtaking for P22. That is Eric Miller on the inside line. Hey, Cardo. How's it going? Currently, Kostovic is sitting at P5 with 2/10 off of Ollie Raza. The Ollie G thing is throwing me up. It's Ollie Raza. That's his name. And just a thing to point out is that due to the new update in the tire model being a little bit more realistic and to some degree, is people can't just outright try to outpace another driver and look for that aggressive overtake. It's going to kill their tires if they continue to push that hard. They really got to set it up a couple laps in advance. So Provolone, while he is only 2/10 off of Eric Miller here, he might be trying to do such a thing. It's just kind of keep his racecraft together while also looking for that moment in time where he's going to finally push through the gap. But he hasn't really made any sudden aggressive moves so far. He's just trying to keep pace. And down the inside line he goes against Eric Miller, a little bit further along than him. In fact, Eric Miller's going to try to have a go. And he's behind him. We could see Eric Ukassian also caught up to Eric Miller for the Division 2 spot. Car number 55 tries to poke his nose in a little bit, but Eric Miller goes ahead anyway. Aaron Free was side by side with Tanner Masters, and now having overtaken him for P16. Kostovic finally only a 10th off. Is it possible for him to finally make this move over Ali Raza of Turner Motorsports? These drivers have been consistently together, pace for pace. It looks like they are literally a couple hundredths off on their times as they go across the track. So it's anyone's game for these two. Oh, his 188 is off the track. It's not. It doesn't look good for Constable Cody Wassam right now. As the gap is splitting just slightly by half a second, I'm going to take a look at Aaron Free here, who's going to have another go at another driver. As he's pushing through the pack, he started in the back, the very back, and now he's sitting in P16 from P37 or 38. That's mighty impressive. And what's really unfortunate is both of the Puerto Rico sim racing, I believe is what it is. Both of them are sitting at the back of the pack, having just dropped down the order. It's an unfortunate situation for those two drivers. There goes Aaron Free making that clean overtake to that last corner. He's got a lot of room to go though, because he has to push past Mike Burkhoff for P14, and he is about 2.5 seconds off that driver. Down the straight they go. Joseph Kostovic trying to go down the inside line of Ali Raza. Is he going to be able to make this happen right now? It's looking pretty good. Oh, it's too much. He maintains just that little bit of speed. And there goes Ali Raza maintaining that good defense, keeping Kostovic at bay for another lap. It's got to feel a little frustrating having made quite the send. And while we're at it, we'll just quickly point out that Danny Baisden holds the fastest lap on track with the 159.1. We're 9 laps into this race, and he's got Ed Kerstetter about 3.5 seconds off of him for the Division 1 title, with Riley Minier about 13 seconds back and P3. Joseph Kostovic still fighting for P4. And it looks like he's going to try to go at... No, he pulls it in. He reels it in a little bit right there. For the Division 2 title, we have Jonathan Quinn in P8 on the overall charts right there. But he is P1 in the Division 2, with Chronotis in P2 of Division 2. And Dr. Richard Splash in P3, sitting in P16 on the overall charts. We have Stefan Buckley in P17, currently P1 in the Division 3 title, with Delbeck of CC Racing sitting in P2 with about a 3-second gap from Andy Oak in P3, but only a 0.4 second gap is formed right now with Romulus, who's sitting in P28. Could be P3 if he overtakes Andy Oak of the no-name car number 19. It is a close battle, actually. And based on the timing charts here, if we go to Andy Oak's last was a 203.1, and Romulus's was a 202.9. So it's a bit of a 2/10 difference there, and that 2/10 could be where Romulus shines, or maybe he just waits for a little slip up in racecraft and he just takes that position outright. But I don't think it's happening right this second, as we have Chris McKeesey of 360 Motorsports on the attack of Reggie King of Turner Motorsports. Right in front of him is Tanner Masters. Let's go on board and see what happens here. Now, it should be noted that this is going to require a mandatory pit with no mandatory requirements on what one needs to be done. Oh, yikes, Reggie King out in the grass. It doesn't really help Chris McKeesey that much, though. You think it would, and while he's fighting in the overall, he's actually not even fighting for position in his own division. Chris McKeesey would have to get to Aaron Free, who is sitting a comfortable, I think, sector ahead of him. See, car number 99. Let's see. Oh, he's not that far ahead of him. It's probably about 15 seconds, 12 seconds. Oh. There's no indication of an issue there. The driver off track slightly. Reggie King still on the attack of Tanner Masters, car number 90. With Chris McKeesey about a 10th off of him as well. He sends it down that inside line, and he keeps it well together going through it, and he overtakes him. What a move for Reggie King. I guess Reggie K, car number 44. Now it looks like Chris McKeesey was all out of sorts there going through cops. Lost a little bit of time to these drivers. And we have Provolone, also a driver that started in the back of the pack. Started at P20, or one of the second to last positions for his driver at 36 or 37. So the fact that he's at P22 is quite the feat off the starting lap. As he's pushing against Matt Morrison there. About 3/10 off for P21. Car number 19. Oh, 13. Car number 13 of Gage Gonzalez is, I think, sitting a lap down. But he's trying to unlap himself, I believe. And Mike Burkhoff of Red Eye Racing having a go at Andrew Pickerel down the inside line of Cops. And he keeps it together. But is it enough going into Mackett's and Beckett's? And he's still ahead. And that is Aaron Free also going to try to have a go at Andrew Pickerel. Through those corners they go. Does he have it? Oh, Pickerel's all out of sorts here as he has two drivers that have went really aggressive through Cops. And now he's going to be faced with the defense. Aaron Free him are neck and neck. And Free gets it down the outside line, going into the next corner, which he has the inside. And there goes Aaron Free for P14 against Andrew Pickerel. And that's got to be very disappointing for him, as that is two drivers that have just gone by in the span of 2 sectors. And we don't have an accurate time just yet, I don't believe. Car number 6 has a yellow flag of Matt Morrison. Now Pickerel's off by 2/10. He's actually going to be seeing something on board here with Aaron Free having gotten out of the gusto there of Andrew Pickerel. He's now on the attack of Mike Burkhoff for P13. All three of these drivers are in Division 1, so this is all for position and points. It looks like Joseph Kosovich in 949 has gone into the pit lane to serve his mandatory pit stop about a minute and 3 seconds into this. The weather looks beautiful here at Silverstone, so I don't know if we're going to see a change in the dynamics, but I clearly would not want to just jump into the pit lane this early, especially when we're talking about tire wear and possibly wanting to change tires. Not change tires. Maybe it turns into wet conditions. Joseph Kosovich also has a stop-and-go penalty for exiting the pit lane, and he's already P16, dropping down the order. And that could have been a really major mistake that's going to keep him out of the points, as he sends down the order to P23, P24. He can't still be in the pit lane right now. Still on board with Andrew Pickerel, looking at this little fight that's happening right now. And on an off-camera move, it looks like Andy Oak, car number 19, has just overtaken Jason Provolone for P25, or P26. It should be updating shortly. And there goes Aaron Free. Through Mackett's, the start of Mackett's and Beckett's, is able to overtake Mike Burkhoff quickly, cleanly, and that with minimal contention there. I think Aaron Free is really trying to make a mark here as the driver of the day, having been in one of the last places in this grid at the start of the opening lap, now sitting at P12. And I don't even think he has anyone on his team, so he's just a solo pushing it by himself with only 2 Division 2 drivers ahead of him. He's really looking at a P10 finish out of the grid order for those drivers. I think it was there's 16 Division 1 drivers, 12 Division 2 drivers, and 10 Division 3 drivers. Denoted by the color of their background on the overall, white being Division 1, gray being Division 2, and red being Division 3. As we have Stefan Buckley in P1 for the Division 3 title right now, who is sitting comfortably in P19, 20. I think that's Eric Cassian in front of him. He's in P18. When he's left the grid, I don't know exactly. Oh, we have some people in the pit lane is what's happening here. So the order is shaking up ever so slightly. Oh, as Eric Cassian goes too close into the grass on that one. Stefan's closed the gap. Down the start straight finish. Is he going to try to send it on him through cops? That gap that was close is now expanding as we are going to push along here. We have Gabe Carnes of CC Racing just crossing the line at P28 with Dave Ward of Slow In, Slow Out having gone in the pit lane to serve his mandatory pit stop. We have David Funk from P7 down to P10. Oh, is a Turner Motorsport off into the grass. Car number 82 of Jason Provolone. I hate to see it, folks. He is an impressive driver who is just not having an impressive race. It happens to everybody. Well, not Danny Bazin, I don't think, because there he is, our race leader, still sitting in P1 with an open track to himself. The closest driver being car number 222 of Delbecky, and whoever's behind him of Andy Oak. So it looks like Danny Bazin has already overtaken a good 10 positions, 11 positions on the grid. You know that's going to be the case, but yikes. This is an alien. Kerstedter's closed the gap slightly. He was at a 3.5 second gap to him, but now he's only 1.8 second difference. Looks like Ed Kerstedter's pulling in a full second, 1.8 difference in the last of the laps that were given there. Danny Bazin with a 201.8, and Ed Kerstetter with a 2-minute 0.1 flat. So we could be seeing a shakeup between these two drivers, but not one with P3, who is sitting a comfortable 20 seconds behind P2. And behind him in P4 is Ollie Raza with a 2.4 second gap to P3. The top five really just goes to show you that these Division 1 guys are just insane. I mean, Snyder has a 13 second gap to P4, and he's in P5. He's We have Jonathan Quaid of Absolute Sim Racing in the Division 2 title, who's sitting at P6 on the overall of the entirety of this race. That's P1 for him already, with Chronotis a mere 12-second, 13-second difference to P2 for the silver. Honda is a hot... Totally not my bad driving. Oh, Was, it's okay, man. Totally get it. The Honda was supposed to be the meme machine, and I think it memed a little too much. As we have Honored Sundar sitting in P7. And in the contention for the Division 2 titles, already said 1 and 2, but Reggie King is sitting at a P3 finish for him, with Tanner Masters another 10 seconds behind, no, 9.4 seconds behind him. So if Reggie can hold pace for the next 54 minutes, he is going to be P3 on the podium for the Division 2. Let's have it for Reggie King. The man's a great driver. Salt. Yeah, just a little. And we have Stefan Buckley, who was sitting in P1. Oh, did that driver... Oh, no. And you hate to see it, folks, but our Brandon Walrath is no longer with us in this race, but he was sitting in P1. Romulus right now sitting provisionally on pole with 53 minutes left to go. He still has to serve his mandatory pit stop, but he right now is the Division 3 P1 with Del Becky of CC Racing in P2 and Andy Oak, the no-name, sitting in on the grid in P24. Car number 19 sitting at P3. It looks like he has some damage on the back end there, and that's no bueno. As we have Dr. Richard Splash of Slow In, Slow Out sitting in a little bit of a conundrum because he's got a driver on the back end of him, of car number 13 of Gage Gonzalez, who is fighting for position, just not position against him. He needs to unlap himself from these drivers and continue going. So while Richard Splash and Tanner Masters ahead of him in the red car are fighting for a position right now, Gage Gonzalez, the car behind them, is also just trying to survive. Gaborski, thank you for the follow. Noah Cack, thank you for the follow. Richie Dagger, hey, thank you for subscribing the Prime sub. Sorry, these filters are these activity feeds. You'd think it would pop up a little bit. Disabled VTech. I might as well not have an engine. Wasp, you'll get him next time. Just gotta... Silverstone's its own beast of a track. Now this 2/10 difference could be the make or break here for Richard Splash, as he has yet to make a very overt, aggressive move against the driver. Same with Gage Gonzalez. You would expect Gonzalez to try to make his way through the track of drivers. He's got Santiago Orozco to fight against, and Orozco is just ahead of him, actually, between these two drivers. So if he can pull, yep, just can I drive my Toyota Tacoma next race? Yeah, they'll let you. I mean, I have a Tundra, and then I don't have grip. Car's light as can be. It's doesn't do so well in the snow. Wasp, you're also welcome to join me in the commentating booth if you so want to pique the viewers' interest in hearing a nice wholesome man from West Virginia. As Mike Burkhoff of Red Eye Racing is on the attack of Chronotis. Not in his division, but still good for position. If we get a good heli cam here, we'll see these drivers are only 3 seconds difference, but Mike Burkhoff would have to make a 4-second push against Aaron Free, who's sitting now at P10, having a few drivers having went through the pit stop already. Aaron Free could totally be dropping down a couple positions, but not too many, that's for sure. It's a mighty impressive move for Aaron Free there, as he actually ends up taking another position, because Will Campbell of the 360 Motorsports has just entered the pit lane. Car number 17 off the track of Eric Miller. Oh. And he jumped into the pit lane. Looked like he carried a little bit too much grass on that inside line, but it didn't affect Matthew Haight continuing to push through this track. And in the contention for P2, we still have Andy Oak of Royal Racing attacking CC Racing of A. Delbeck. Going down the helo cam as it looks like he's about to overtake him. As they're about to enter Cops, he's still ahead. It's neck and neck, but he continues to push. Andy Oak goes ahead of A. Delbeck of CC Racing. And there you have it. Now he's going to be on the attack of Romulus, who is sitting about 15 seconds ahead of him. And there's Richard Splash still trying to make things happen here. Yeah, Richie Dagger. I would go so far as to say that Silverstone is quite a technical track in its own right, but have you had time to go and watch the Cardo and Erica Cassian going through a track walk of this? I believe it was those two drivers, both of them. They give you a really good indication on how to take the track and a lot of information on how you can learn. So possibly about a day or two before each race, you'll see a track guide live on Twitch and as well as posted to the YouTube of Trackless Sim Racing. So if you ever feel like you want to get better at it, there's definitely opportunity from really smart individuals that will also be able to help you. And if you join the Discord, you could talk to these coaches directly, and they will also be able to open up some time in the week. I believe they will give up some time to help coach people that want to be coached. And I believe that's in the... you'll see a little badge next to their name that says that they are a coach. So red situation there. And to the guy that was asking for that setup, as soon as the race is over or within, next day or so, you should get some reply for that situation on your setup. People were very forthcoming on the server to help out other people. So if you don't feel like you're getting a result, you could just always ping an admin and say, hey, I tried asking and no one's talking to me. So they will always be able to, always be willing to assist you further if you have anything, questions. It looks like Richard Splash can pull a little Lewis Hamilton, try to go down the inside line. Doesn't, though. Through cops, they go. And while the divisions are split between 16 drivers in Division 1, 12 in Division 2, and 10 in Division 3, might not always be the case that these drivers will stay in the division that they are already assigned to. It's not about performance, but like consistency, but it's more about the, I guess, if a driver's consistently outperforming the drivers within his division, he's going to get promoted to the next division. Might have to go watch Hammereth instead of this. I mean, everybody can enjoy their own separate time on Twitch, and nobody should be ashamed for what they enjoy on Twitch in, in terms of what they like and don't like. Content's content, man. But like you said, chase time, not tail. As we still have an impressive battle happening here for at least 3 or 4 laps now. It looks like Richard Splash is going to finally try to have that go against Tanner Masters. Oh, is about to make contact, a little contact, no contact at all, but it was very close. We'll drop to that helo cam and see if he tries to push him. Oh, he doesn't. He doesn't go down that inside line as you think he would with that driver of Gage Gonzalez still sitting behind them consistently, but you hope that he's going to get ahead at some point. He has overtaken a few drivers, possibly because they went into the pit lane for some reason, but Gage Gonzalez is now sitting at P27. And I'm not sure. But Ricardo Rivera is still in the race, but he is sitting a couple laps back. It's hard to say what's happening there. As fate has it, we lift the moment we see after the overtake occurs, where Tanner Masters is now sitting in P13. Oh, man. That is a my bad, folks. Tanner Masters was overtaken finally by Dr. Richard Splash, and that is the driver that is sitting P3 in the Division 2 championship in the teal and black. Tanner Masters was also fighting for that P3 finish over Richard Splash for Division 2. That's a podium, folks, and it's still up for grabs. Dr. Richards... Is burner account? I mean, if he went for the move, I would assume so. But he didn't. He let it go a little bit. And we can see Danny Basden and Ed Kerstetter having been put in P6 and P7, with Riley Manier sitting in P1 with Ollie Raza P2 and Jarek Snyder for P3. En route Sundar and Jarek Snyder, Ollie G, Riley Manier. None of these drivers have pit, nor has Jonathan Quinn, who is sitting P1 in the Division 2 championship. And he's ahead of En route Sundar. who's sitting P5. I mean, if there's ever a driver that's going to have to get promoted, it's the one that is sitting in the top 10. Yeah, it's mighty impressive. Going down the lineup, we have Stefan Buckley, car number 73, who's sitting P1 in the Division 3 championship, as well as Romulus in P2 and Santiago Orozco in P3 in that Division 3. Oh, look at that. We have an actual exciting battle taking place right now on track. We have Andrew Pickerel and Chris McKeesey for P17 and 18 positions. We have Andrew Pickerel sitting in 18, who's about a tenth off from Chris McKeesey. And this is for position, as both these drivers are sitting in the Division 1 title championship. And look at Chris McKeesey taking that inside line to really... Oh, as Andrew Pickerel goes down the outside line, he's carrying a lot of speed, though. And that does not help him. Oh, that is unfortunate. You thought something was going to happen there. It looked like something could have happened. But all that speed really put him out of balance and trying to push that back into the turn. As we go back on board, let's just get into the cockpit in the mind of Andrew Pickerel as he attempts to overtake Chris McKeesey with Tanner Weeks just be... Is that Tanner Weeks? Let's see. Yeah, Tanner Weeks is about 8 tenths off. You can see him in the rearview mirror there. Having a stroke. How do I join the commentary booth? Well, if you want to join the commentary booth, they are looking for commentators all the time. So if you just join the Discord and, you know, can keep it fairly clean is one of the things that's most vital. And, yeah, just talk to Eric Cassian, the community leader. And then you'll just be put in the rotation of people that want to help commentate some of these races. Last season we had myself as the GT3 and GT4 main commentary. And yeah, no, we have a couple more now, so it's always room for people to join. It's Tanner Weeks. You can see he's closed the gap because that is not only Chris McKeesey making some mistakes, but this little battle that has put these two drivers at odds has also closed the gap for Taki's Weeks, who's sitting in the rearview mirror of Andrew Pickerel. And Andrew Pickerel did have a very disappointing situation happen with two drivers that overtook him in the span of basically one sector. And let's see if we can't see him overtake a couple of these drivers as we see Kostovich. That's not... I don't think that's good. Oh, it's backmarker traffic ahead of us. I mean, you could stream from a hot tub. It's not going to be visible on a webcam, that's for sure. As you can tell, there's... Oh, no! As Andrew Pickerel slides a little bit. Oh, and you can totally see... And he makes contact with Tanner Weeks. And that is unfortunate, as he is dropping down the order slightly from that mistake. And that was just a lot of oversteer. Oh, gosh. I hate to see it, folks. Car number 52 just had an incident. It's off track with car number 53. Oh. As you see, Joseph Kosovic and Aaron Free battling right now. This ASMR. I don't think we're really going for ASMR, guys, but I can get my ear-licking mic hooked up anytime. As we have Joseph Kosovic still about a couple tenths off. But is it enough? Jonathan Quaid fighting for position. Overtook Ollie Raza for P4, who is now sitting behind him in the Turner Sports. Then you have Jarek Snyder ahead of him. But that's a NOS Energy, so that's not even that's just lap traffic. Now this is the stuff I'm talking about, folks. Is we have Jonathan Quaid of the Division 2 sitting in P4. I think this driver's going to need to get promoted. And then we have Mike Burkhoff, also one of the Division 2 drivers, on the attack of a Division 1 driver. Mike Burkhoff fighting a Division 2 driver for P8 in the overall. Chronotis, he's not going to lose out here except in the overall, which really doesn't matter to him. He's sitting P2 comfortably, with P3 kind of behind by 18 seconds. 33 minutes left to go. I don't believe it's going to matter too much. And then here we have Andrew Pickerel. Going to try to make a move again on another driver. And look at that, Andrew Pickerel's keeping it together to that corner. Not like we saw a couple laps ago, but he's really keeping his racecraft pretty in control. He's just going to let these drivers slip up. Maybe he goes for an overtake, but after that oversteer moment, you got to remember these tires might be a little too hot. Hopefully he didn't gas him out there on that couple laps ago. Oh, look at that as he goes for that move against Eric Gukasian, and he's already going to take it into the next corner. And that is a smooth operator right there, Andrew Pickerel. Now back on the attack against Chris McKeesey, who just laps ago dropped down the order through a mistake and a little bit of contact. But if there's ever a driver to make an improvement with 31 minutes left to go, it's going to be Andrew Pickerel, who's sitting at P18, could clean up 17. Kostovic is about 14 seconds in front of him for P17, or is P16. And we have it again. He's not carrying too much speed, so he's just going to have to back out of this one. And another battle that's happening on screen. They already made contact a little bit through Maggots and Beckett. And there goes Joseph Kosovic overtaking Aaron Free for P14. Ollie Raza, or Ollie G on the screen, has just gone into the pit lane. Nothing has actually happened with Ed Kerstetter. Andrew Pickerel might have a go at him. Ah, he was just there for that overtake. Oh, he goes on the inside line. They hit. They make contact, but he goes for it. Chris McKeezy. Oh, no. More contact as he kind of outbreaks himself through that sector. And then, oh, there's a little bit of tap from a driver that's not even in it. Oh, and he pit maneuvers him. Oh, and that is 2 drivers off. Oh, gosh. What happened? Car number 35 of Taki's Weeks was the partially phenomenal driver that was in a little bit of contact going through that straight. Oh. Ed Kerstetter, there's nothing wrong with his race so far. He's sitting P6 because him and Danny Basin both went into the pit lane and served their mandatory pit, I think together or maybe like a lap off. But they were sitting comfortably at P6 and 7. Car number Chris McKeezy's off the track, who has made contact with nobody, it seems. And there goes Andrew Pickerel, now overtaking Chris McKeezy through not even an incident, but outright. What? All right, sorry about that. In the chat, ASMR breathing. Yeah, I'm breathing all right. This is it's all been heated. We have Spool and McKeezy. No, Spool and Buckley for P21. That family. The buckets of Banhammer is what that gets. We have David Funk sitting in P9. Has just overtaken Ollie Raza for P10. P9. Tanner Masters has gone into the pit lane. That's why he's dropped down. Ed Kerstetter is still fighting the fact that Jarek Snyder, Henri Sundar, and Riley Manier have not gone into the pit lane just yet. Danny Basin has a 16-second gap to Riley Manier. So all Riley Manier is trying to do is try to extend that gap a little further before he goes into the pit lane. As you can see, Tanner Masters is now going to be dropping down the board to where his original place is in this race. That means Joseph Kosovic is going to gain some positions here. That means Aaron Free is going to gain some positions here. So we see Aaron Free on the attack of Reggie King. Is he going to go for it? Down the inside line he goes. Is it P9 or P10? He overtakes Kosovic overtakes Reggie King for P11. The order was shaking up on screen on the car numbers because or position numbers because they were passing through somebody that has gone in the pit lane. Ed Kerstetter now having overtaken a driver of that's not a driver that he's no. Ed Kerstetter was actually oh my. We have rain, everybody. We have rain. With 26 minutes left to go, the track might be optimum. We're going to see an increase in rain. And not only is that, but the track just dropped to fast. Oh my. Here at Silverstone. For very British weather, we are going to see some rain with 25 minutes left to go. And this could really be the shakeup. Ed Kerstetter finally getting back to some of his original positions, with Riley Manier and Jarek Snyder having to go into the pits to not only grab wets, possibly. It's already greasy. It's already dropping down the order here. Everyone's going to have to go into the for pit. Oh, as we can see it already, we have Jonathan, Quinn, and let's see if this driver actually stays in for 30 seconds. It's quite possible. We have Spool of Royal Racing attacking Buckley in car number 73. Just Fitty. Beachley. It's not water. It's e-girl bathwater, guys. It's e-girl bathwater. As Buckley has spun off onto the side. Oh no! Oh no! We have our provisional pole winner. He's actually got a lot of time ahead of the other drivers, so Buckley doesn't even have to worry too much, as he's going to still be in P1 at the end of this race if he goes and puts in some really awesome times here. Oh no, we have more drivers dropping down the order. A lot of them are going to the pits. Mr. Shy Guy, thank you for hosting us. Reed Aldred, who was in this race, actually. Car number... he was in this race. Maybe he is still in this race. Let's see if he tries to make an attempt there. Riley Manier, who's already... This track is... 160 Reaper, thank you for the follow, man. Ambition, Adhesive. No, he's gone. The Fallen Wyvern. Thank you for the follow, and it's unfortunate that he's gone from this race. We have Matthew Haight in the Division 3. Actually, on the back end of Delbecky, his teammate of CC Racing, fighting for position. We have Andy Oak, who's sitting in P3, having gone into the pit lane to maybe grab some wets. We have Chris McKeezy with a stop-and-go penalty in P22. Oh, that is unfortunate. He is just sitting off the side of the pit lane. He's gone out. And there's Riley Manier finally going for it. But as that's happening, Danny Basin decides to stay out to retake P1 over Riley Manier. The track is already damp now. This is just an insane move by the Area 52 driver. Maybe it's going to work out for him. But if we have any indication, all these drivers have been slipping through most of this track so far. Who hasn't boxed yet are at a huge advantage. Advantage or disadvantage? Because unless you can keep it together, and there's Danny Basin against a slow in, slow out driver. Couldn't even tell you which driver that is. Maybe that's actually Richard Splash, who's sitting in P3 of the Division 2 title. And a lot of these drivers are already back out on the track. Jarek Snyder, I don't know if he went into the pit lane to get wets, but if he did, he's actually quite possibly going to be the driver that takes the podium for the Division 1 title. And what shocks me so much is that Danny Basin even decided to do this. And there we have it, folks. Another driver of Stefan Buckley, who's was leading the Division 3, is now dropped to P4 of the Division 3 championship. He is not even moving. He also has a stop-and-go penalty. Oh, that is rough to watch. He was leading the race for those drivers in the Division 3 for most of this race. With only 21 minutes left to go, he is foreseeably calling it quits. That's unfortunate. As we have Danny Basin. Let's see if he ends up going into the pit lane to get those wets. Look at him. He's sliding. And if I thought the words were correct, he's staying out. What are we seeing? A madman? Somebody who has the IQ beyond of what we are capable of understanding? Is this 15 minutes going to go by and it's going to drop back to a greasy conditions. We're at a full damp conditions. Not full wet, but I don't know this what this strategy is. Ollie G is sitting in P5. Technically not that bad for his result right now. It's Jarek Snyder actually has gone into the pit lane to finally get either wet tires or just serve his mandatory pit. He has yet to even serve a mandatory pit, but we see Riley Minier overtaking him down the straight. That means Riley Minier is going to take P2 with Ed Kerstetter. Actually, quite a bit difference. That's a full sector difference for Ed Kerstetter. It's unfortunate for him as Chronotis also goes into the pit lane, maybe to get some wet tires. We don't know just yet. Almost as good at this as he is in Rocket League. Maybe. Are you talking about Ollie G? Maybe. He started P5 or P6, and looks like he's going to be ending in that. That's Santiago Orozco on the back end there, and Orozco is sitting at P28. We have Joseph Kostovich in P14 on the attack at Tanner Masters, overtaking Tanner Masters through that little bit there. And there goes Joseph Kostovich for P13. And Chronotis, who is leading the Division 2 P1 provisionally on the podium, it looks like the next driver is Reggie King, who's about to go through the start-finish straight. More drama than a teenage girl's diary. Yeah. You know what's crazy is I had 200 hours in Rocket League before I introduced the game to him, and then dude overtook me and got a grand champ. He's just interested in anything cars. Rocket League's a lot of fun, so wow, that's impressive. As there goes Chronotis. Reggie King is just ahead of Chronotis for the Division 2 championship. That's P1 that they're fighting for. These two drivers are only a few tenths off, actually 3 tenths off. I said I want to play too. I would love to play. I never had friends on Rocket League. I mean, like I did, but so Danny Bazin has a 32-second gap from Riley Minier. If he is somehow Aaron Free gets a stop and go penalty, and that's going to be very disappointing for Aaron Free as he has come from the back of the grid with 38 cars on the grid at the start. Aaron Free was one of the last few drivers on that row, and now he dropped from P. Oh, he's serving his time right now, isn't he? I can't even tell. He hasn't. He's actually just lost a fair bit of position outright as Matthew Haight has also got a stop and go penalty. But Aaron Free, what a disappointing run, because he started in the back of the pack and he was P11, and now to just be relegated back there again is unfortunate. Oh, is there some contact going through that corner? What's the incident report there? We got car number 21 of Jonathan Quid and car number 90 of Tanner Masters having made contact through that corner, which allowed Quid to get ahead of him for P4 of the Division 2 title. Little bit slippery, but there's David Funk sitting in P11 with Joseph Kostovich just behind him in 4 tenths. Danny Basden also going back out without pitting. Now, if Riley Minier did take tires for wets, it would be feasible for Basden to also get wet tires, because 29-second gap is, I mean, it's almost negligible. It's 28 seconds now. He's actually losing time. As there goes Joseph Kostovich overtaking David Funk for P11 through Maggots and Beckett's. And we have Ed Kersetter on the attack of Ollie G, or as Ollie Raza. Just get on board with him and see what happens here. Oh, there goes Ed Kersetter sending it down the inside line. And it looks like he keeps it together. And there he goes for P4. And that is what you can see from one of the coaches here at Trackless Sim Racing, who graciously offered to help others when they could. Aaron Free now serving as possibly man. Oh, no. That is unfortunate, folks. P2 of Riley Manier has just gone off track, and he has lost a clear 35-second gap now. That's a full 10 seconds difference that he lost on the attack of Danny Basin. Is this the time when Danny goes into it? No, it is not. He's still going to stay out and just work for it. Oh, my. The man who was complaining at practice that he hopes he didn't see rain at Silverstone is not only driving in his regular setup, not taking wet tires, but is going to continue to do so, even though he has an advantageous advantage to not only pit, but take tires. As we see David Funk going to try to have a go for P11 against Richard Splash. And car number, I'm sorry, the CC Racing team of Matthew Haight and, is Gabe? Oh, Gabe Carnes just slides through that corner. And his teammate, Matthew Haight, just goes straight ahead. And here we have Andrew Free on the attack of Andrew Pickerel. While it might make sense, he overtakes Andrew Pickerel with not a lot of commotion there, but there's no real reason to. That was a blue flag, by the way, on that Turner Motorsports, so that's not for position. But Aaron Free has to go into the pit lane, as we're seeing him do just now. And Pickerel says, thanks for nothing, man. I mean, just retakes his own position. Maybe Basin is just driving with his eyes closed. If he can't see the rain, it isn't happening. Well, let's just go quickly on board and see what's happening in the mind of the alien himself. Looks like he's just keeping a little bit more caution. And as it stands, folks, we have Ed Kerstetter pulling off a 210, having gone into the pit lane to get wets, I believe. Riley Manier in P2 just did a 220 of last. Snyder did a 214. Ollie G did a 216. Sundar did a 215. Burkhoff did a 212. So it's a massive gap. And, you know, I bet you if we go to a driver that positively got wet tires, let's take a look here. That teal is the wet tire model. And we'll see Danny Basin. Is sitting on he's sitting on normal tires on a dry setup. Just to confirm, maybe Ed Kerstetter. I can't tell. I think he's on a wet setup. Typically, you can take a good distinction here, folks, is when you're looking at the tire, it looks like Ollie Raza is still on dry setup tires because that's the yellow tire, not the teal. Maybe there's another driver that took tires that we can take a look to confirm. Oh, guys, really just throwing me curveballs right now in the chat. I accept that. I'm trying to help you out here. It looks like that's a dry setup tire. Reins are all black. Okay, so then Chronotis is sitting on dry tire setup. And Kerstetter was the only one that switched to the, or Riley Manier is the only one that switched to the, and Kerstetter switched to wets. Dry tires have yellow walls. I see. I know that part. I know that part. I thought reins were all teal, but now I'm also. Oh, I'm losing my eyesight. I swear. That is Jarek Snyder being overtaken by Ed Kerstetter for P3 with a mere 50 seconds difference in pace from Riley Manier for P2. Doesn't look like Ed Kerstetter is going to be able to make up that gap. And while we have a chance, we have Chronotis sitting in P1 for Division 2, Reggie King in P2 for Division 2, and Jonathan Quinn, who was running P1 for the entirety of Division 2, has now been dropped down to P3. We have Andy Oak, the no-name, car number 19, is P1 of Division 3. Delbeck of CC Racing in P2. And then Santiago Orozco of Tocos Locos sitting in P3. Ray Charles. Yeah, I feel it. So we can clearly see Danny Basin has the dry tires, and Riley Manier opted to take the wet tire setup. That being the case, it hasn't given him much advantage over Danny Basin. Still 23 seconds difference, and it's e-girl bathwater, guys. I don't know. It's not pink eye. I don't think it's pink eye just yet. Ooh, look at that. Car number 59 of Richard Splash just got overtaken by William Campbell of 360 Motorsports, otherwise known as the Weed Machine of the AMG. Silver arrows there. And Tanner Masters is just ahead of him for position. Yeah, with 6 minutes and 33 seconds left to go. Oh, what happened there? Tanner Masters is off the side there, and that is William Campbell just taking that position for P12 with really no fight. And you have to hand it to Gage Gonzalez there, as he went from last place after being P3 or P4 on the opening lap, and now back to P18 with Matt Morrison all out of sorts trying to get back on the track, and he is dropping down the order there. Gage Gonzalez now sits at P18, having had quite a rough stint. And in front of him is actually, who is that? That's Spool. In front of him is another driver, car number 47, Mike Burkhoff, sitting in P7. who is actually fighting for position against Honored Sundar for P6. Hey there, do you guys stream ACC on Xbox? No, we Sparrow, we are streaming ACC from PC. This is PC version. And it doesn't look like he's going to make a move just yet. But we'll go on board, see what it looks like here. Yeah, Richie, I mean, we both said that. What are you... You giving me attitude through chat? This guy. And the words "don't kill me" might ring true. We still don't know what Mike Burkhoff's plan is here. Pro, don't kill me. And he's looking at a pro on his back end, so maybe it's a double meaning there. As he goes on the outside line, maybe he's going to take this overtake, make it happen. It's a little wide. But as long as he gets a better exit, he's going for that sweet apex. He's going to go down the... Oh, he's going to just drop back in there. After a commentator for our upcoming league, don't let the commentating go to the head. Miller, I don't think it has gone to my head. Ear mics and ear microphone. Yes, it's we're almost there, guys. 3 minutes left to go. Tracklicious Sim Racing's ASMR will start shortly after that. And you know, I thought Mike Burkhoff was going to be able to make something happen here. We got 2-3 tenths difference here, but we're going to switch over to David Funk, who's actually fighting for position against Reggie King here for P10. He's about 2 tenths, 3 tenths off. Oh, and looks like that's another driver off. Is that Aaron Free? Yes, it is. And that is unfortunate for him. But that little re-entry, I think, broke up the attack for David Funk. He's now just kind of losing a little bit of speed here. But not Mike Burkhoff, who's only 3 tenths, or actually 1 tenth off right now. And that driver who just went wide, giving him room, but it's not enough. Ah, you know it was going to happen. They tap. That's Honored Sundar and Mike Burkhoff making a little bit of contact, but Mike Burkhoff's not going to give the position, nor should he. It's a little bit of a racing incident more than anything, as Mike Burkhoff now just plows ahead. I don't think he's going to get close here to Ali Raza, who's sitting about 5 seconds off of his time. But we do have Ed Kerstetter, who's actually behind Jarek Snyder for P4. I thought Snyder was behind this driver, but guess not. Now on board with Ed Kerstetter of Area 52 Sim Racing. And that is another driver, the ETK K team of what is that? Jarek Snyder, who went a little wide, and that's going to be all the... That's all he needed right there, folks. And there he goes, just straight ahead. Jarek Snyder made a little bit of a maneuver there, and could be the wet. I mean, track is damp, so rain ending with 1 minute left to go. Maybe the wet tires wasn't worth it. I don't think Riley Manier is going to think it was worth it after all that, but he is 11 seconds off of Danny Bazin, so he gave him a little bit for that. Spara, you also... for your ACC commentating, you actually need to be... I don't even know how they stream it that way, but you definitely need the console for it in the game and all the content that comes with it. So you definitely want to be looking for someone that already has an Xbox. and the game and everything. Unless this is a cross-platform. Don't think. We have David Funk. 14 seconds left to go. Danny Basin is on his final lap. If Danny... I think that was a little bit of contact there from Reggie King and David Funk. It's car number 41 and... Well, no, car number 44. They did make a little bit of contact there through cops. If David does not make something happen, he's just going to be sitting at a comfortable P11. And like Was said, this is a push moment. He's one of the only drivers on track that is going to be able to make this last lap count. We have Eric Gukasian in P16, about 0.3 off of Richard Splash. Actually, we have Delbecchi overtaking Andy Oak for P1 of the Division 3. And he just has to hold it for a full lap. And he's going to now take P1 from Andy Oak there. What a fantastic finish for those drivers. Yeah, Sparrow, what I was trying to say is that you'd want it to all work out with we have Eric Cassian overtaking Richard Splash for P15 through this corner. Can he make it stick? Doesn't have the inside line, but as long as he goes well on that, he's ahead. Eric Cassian finally gets that overtake. P15 for him. Funk overtook Will Campbell for P10. But that wasn't the driver he was fighting. He actually overtook Reggie King as well, but I'm not actually sure what happened there. And there you have it, folks. Danny Basin of Area 52 Sim Racing has won with a 5-second gap to Riley Menier in P2. Ed Kerstetter crossing the line at P3. Jarek Snyder still in the contention. Mike Burkhoff still in the contention. It's still up for debate. Mike Burkhoff could get P5 from Ali Raza here. Let's just go on board. My wheel wasn't the problem. It was the guy behind it. I don't know what happened. Went into the pit and the fourth came out and my ping went red. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, so a lot of things are happening. Oh, look at that. They both go wide. Ali Raza loses the position of Mike Burkhoff with 1 sector left to go. Can he take it back is the question. That's P5. Jarek Snyder is about to cross the line for P5 or P4. A lot of drivers have finished this race, but some important races are still occurring right now. He just sent it down that inside line and the space was there. There he goes. Jarek Snyder, P4. Mike Burkhoff in the red, P5. Ollie Raza, P6. Anirudh Sundar coming across at P7. Joseph Kosevich, P8. We have Chronotis in P1 for the Division 2 title. We have Reggie King in P2 for the Division 2 title. We have Tanner Masters in P3. We have Delbecchi in P1 for the Division 3 title, and Andy Oak in P2, and Santiago Orozco in P3. As well as the overall, we have a litany of drivers. 38 contested in this round one, and only 27 were able to finish. Sometimes that is the case, folks, especially in an enduro. That is definitely going to be the case anytime something bad happens that early. And stick with us as we'll try to get some of the drivers for the interviews. First off, we're going to go to Danny Basin, the race winner. What a fantastic finish, Danny Basin. Yeah, I thought you had it the entire race. Although I was kind of concerned that you decided to stay out on your dry setup when everyone opted to pit for wets. Um, you complained about it during practice, but why were you so confident that you were able to continue in the dries?
Sometimes you don't have a choice. I knew that if Riley was able to fuel save enough, he was going to make it to when he had to put wets on. So he was already going to take the 20-second or 30 seconds out of my lead. So I had to roll the dice, and it brought me back to the good old days in the GT4s when Blackfin or David Carter beat me out staying on slicks. So I just rolled the dice and I sent it. I took no prisoners.
Well, what a fantastic finish, Danny Basin. I mean, there was a point when I thought this race could truly go to Riley. Riley, P2 finish. You were about 5 seconds difference at the end of the race. That's got to feel like you knew you made the right choice.
Yes, I made the right choice, but I spun and lost 10 seconds through Abby, and so I was gutted that I didn't get that chance to face off with Danny. But I'm extremely happy with the way the weather kind of turned out for me. I got really lucky in that. That's why I always take full fuel on these races. It just makes sense. Um, if rain comes at the end, it's a big advantage. And had I not had that spin, I think we would have had a better result today. But you know what? I'm really happy with considering I qualified P5 and now I'm P2. That's something else. I'm pumped.
Well, I mean, what an impressive finish, and I don't know if we have the P3 sitter here, but it just seemed like you guys were on the right approach. It was Danny Bass and Ed Kersetter P6 and 7, and was there a moment that you were just able to kind of step away from Ed there, Danny?
Here P1 and 2.
Yeah.
After
Well,
they went into the mandatory pit, is what I'm, because there
Oh,
seemed to be like a
gotcha.
point when you got back to like P2, P3, I think it was, and Ed Kersetter was still sitting at 6.
yeah, the traffic was tough, and we don't expect anybody to just like move out of the way. So when we're actually battling for position, whether or not they pitted or not, it was tough. And
Mm-hmm.
um, I think Ed, he pitted just a little bit earlier than I did, and he came out in front of right behind some traffic. And I luckily had a little bit more free air. But this whole race was it was really tough on everybody. So congrats to everybody who finished.
Yeah, I mean, we really started with a strong grid, and it still ended with a strong grid. But Briley, it was good to see that you were leading a lot of those laps, and I almost thought for an instance that Jarek Snyder was going to be able to stay out there in the top three. But he went into the pits, and I think he was just behind Ed. Or actually, he got overtaken by Ed just in the last couple laps, so it's unfortunate for him.
Yeah, hell of a drive by Snyder, especially considering he's in Division 2, actually. So might need to adjust that, but he's got great pace with that BMW, and I look forward to maybe facing him a little more. Big shout out to Raza, too. He was following me for a lot of that, and he was one hell of a driver, and he was like keeping me on my toes throughout the entire probably first 20 minutes of that race. Like,
Yes, he
hell of a drive
was.
by him.
He was really, really on the heels of you. As there was a split that occurred because you guys were battling. It allowed Danny and Ed to just continue to kind of walk away from everyone else a little bit. And not only
I don't
that,
think that's the case at all. I think Danny and Ed had uh, pace that was just I couldn't match. They were so fast.
that's, I mean, a little bit of that's true too. I was just trying to keep it more interesting for the viewers. Not thinking it's got two aliens in the league here. But thank you for joining me, guys. It's unfortunate we couldn't get any of the other division winners to join us, but did have some really impressive finishes. Some unfortunate business with some of the race leaders having raced about the entire almost 20 minutes left to go. Both the Division 1 or Division 2 and Division 3 shook up immensely, and that race leader was out of it. And so, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's too bad. I think the rain definitely threw a curveball in there. I mean,
A
we tell
beautiful
people every
curveball.
yes, it was a great curveball. I just think people, I just want people to make sure they know that hey, rain's always a possibility, and tonight it was, and I'm really happy it was.
Yeah, and it was a fantastic finish overall. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining me. And what's left is everybody just show up on Thursday. And actually, I think there's going to be another streamed event, but if you don't see that one coming up, GT4 is going to be there on Thursday. This coming
Tuesday nights, Ed Kerstetter, Education on the next track and the GT4 series.
Oh, there you have it. That was actually the one thing I was actually thinking about is, we have two coaches, Danny Bass and Ed Kerstetter, and I was bringing up the fact that they were going to be doing a track walkthrough. That's going to be on Tuesday. So if anyone wants to see the next track that we're going to be going to, you can see a walkthrough on how you can get better at it. So thanks, everybody.
That track, by the way, is Spa.
Spa-Francorchamps in the Ardennes Forest of Belgium, everybody.
Yes.
Nice.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for hosting the race. Congrats, Riley.
Hey,
hell of a
congrats to you,
battle
man.
there. Thank you,
Hell of a
buddy.
drive.
We'll
Good
talk
job.
to you